Hey, good morning, everybody. It is Thursday morning, and this is Thursday Morning Live. Welcome. If you are new to listening in on Thursday morning, I'm glad that you're here. I always ask if you would just give a like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. We're always bringing new relevant content, local area guests to Chicago. And today I'm excited about my guest. I'm going to be joined by Kevin Greer, a longtime Chicago resident, maybe forever, just like me. Been in the mortgage business for 25 years. He's with Bank Financial right now, and I'll bring him in a minute. But this morning's show is sponsored by the Multifamily Summit. The Multifamily Summit is coming up next week, October 20th through the 22nd. And this 3-day virtual event, I'm going to have 30 speakers. Kevin will be one of the speakers. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And I have a special offer for you at the end of the broadcast this morning. So hang in there with us. And I just want you to know that this event is going to be the biggest virtual event of 2022. We have 30 speakers. We're going to talk about multifamily real estate, the markets. We're going to talk about securities. I have a securities attorney going to be on, how to invest using self-directed IRAs. So if you're an active investor or a passive investor, a new investor, or even a seasoned investor, this is going to be great for you because it'll be a shot in the arm. And I always say, if you can walk away from one of these events with 1 or 2 golden nuggets, it's going to help your business go to the next level. So get registered. Go to multifamily22.com and get registered. Let me bring Kevin in. Hey, good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great.
Good to see you again.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you for having me.
I don't think we've seen each other since the GOB thing back in July.
Yeah.
That seems like ages ago, but it wasn't that long ago,
Yeah, exactly. Time is flying.
What have you been up to?
Oh man, just working hard, dealing with trying to help customers out. We're in a rising interest rate environment, and so just kind of dealing with that and just trying to pivot and like I said, help customers out, help investors out.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. That's for sure. I know I want to talk about the markets and that a little bit too. But hey, Kevin, so I always start these shows, 300 episodes in the podcasts and this Thursday morning live. I always ask my guests one word, what best describes you personally and professionally?
Well, you know what, Mike, that's interesting. Ironically that you asked that, because I think really what describes me is like the post on your wall there, perseverance, right? Mm-hmm. So and that translates to me personally and professionally, because, I try to help my clients and customers and investors, no matter what the challenge is. I don't, shy away from it. So I help them from A to Z and accomplish their goals.
That's awesome. Hey, there was a time in my life I could run those stairs.
Right.
I might still be able to, but I don't know.
Me too.
I'd be an afterward. So I work out all the time and, try to stay as fit as I can. But there's just some things that, I'm not going to say can't do because I'm going to go try. So
exactly. That's right.
Actually, I have a friend who out in Payless Hills, they have the old toboggan slides.
Yeah.
Where they have all the stairs going up. It's like a half a mile to the top.
Wow.
And he goes out there on Saturday mornings and runs them. He's been bugging me to go with, and I really should. So
yeah.
But it's staying in shape, staying fit is definitely something we all need to be doing.
Exactly. I 100% agree with you. I try to work out, at least 5 days a week, and it's just important, because if we don't, our health is our wealth, right?
Yeah. Did you play sports?
I played baseball growing up.
Okay.
And so I have 4 kids, so I coached them in soccer for like a decade.
Yeah. I that was one sport I'm so grateful none of my kids ever got involved with was soccer, because the way some people, but hey, I think they're all like that today, because even baseball and golf and
Yeah.
everything else kids do,
Yep.
there's all kinds of travel and running around. And
Yep. It's
so,
year round. It's year round.
yeah, for sure. Hey, Kevin, so how about a little background on you? You've been in Chicago your whole life?
Yeah, born and raised on the south side. I grew up over in the southeast side of Chicago, the Calumet Heights area,
Okay.
right off of like 87th and Stony Island, up in that area. Went to grammar school, Catholic grammar school, Catholic high school. Graduated from U of I, and been married for 30 years.
Wow. Good for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
How many kids?
4. Yeah,
4.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you did say that, didn't you?
Yeah,
Um, and you're still in Chicago then, working for Bank Financial.
yeah.
What's your job title? What exactly do you do?
Yeah, so my current job title is Assistant Vice President of Commercial Lending. So my office is in Lincolnwood, and so basically what I'm charged to do is bring in commercial loans to the bank and originate them. So what I mean by commercial loans, I'm talking about multifamily, mixed use, and commercial / retail properties.
So what's the lending environment like today?
It's changing. It's evolving like every week. Okay, we have weekly meetings, and it seems like something new is always popping up. But for us, we're a smaller bank, so we still have to lend money and put money out on the street in order for the bank's, board and investors, for them to get a return on their money. Versus a larger bank like a Chase or something, they could stop lending and still have revenues coming in from other sources. So for us, we're still lending. We actually have a rate promotion to the end of the year where we offer 3.95 for year 1 and 4.95 for years 2 through 4. I'm sorry, 2 through 5 on the multifamily purchase or refinance cash out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Hey, I just want to say that if anybody out there this morning that is listening in has a question about the mortgage business, the lending space today, the market, chime in. We'll get that question answered for you. So Kevin, let me just float this out there to you right now. Let's say, and I'm currently chasing a deal right now in the Houston market.
Yeah.
One of the better submarkets in Houston. It's 197 unit multifamily,
Mm-hmm.
1980s product, kind of sexy,
Mm-hmm.
nice looking asset. Has a lot of upside. It's not a real heavy value add from interiors and that, but there's a lot that we can do with it from adding some amenities that maybe have been neglected. So
Mm-hmm.
we'll go in, we'll do some things, maybe some carports, some storage, a dog park, a community area, things like that, right?
Right.
It's operationally challenged a little bit, and we'll be able to turn some of that around. But we're talking about an asset that's about $18 million purchase price.
Okay.
And we syndicate, right?
Right.
So we put together, we bring in private investors. What could I be looking at when I underwrite that today
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
the loan to value area, the loan to cost area?
Sure.
Where can I be in that space today?
Yeah, that's a good question, Mike. And like I said, it's constantly changing. But for me, what I would personally do is I would probably underrate loan to value wise anywhere from 70 to 75% loan to value. With the hopes of getting 80% loan to value. Um, Loan to cost wise, you might be able to get a little bit higher. 80 to 85% loan to cost. You want to be conservative in your underwriting. What I mean by that is, you want to make sure you stress test, your vacancy, stress your expenses. You don't want to make your expenses too low because in a lot of markets, like especially like Chicago, taxes are increasing, property taxes. So I don't know about Houston, but you got to be conservative with your underwriting.
Yeah, all markets are the taxes in all markets I'm finding, especially in the markets we're looking at, are going up.
Yep.
Texas used to be a non-disclosure state, and you could get by for about 3 years before you had to disclose any new numbers on it. And now they're changing right at closing. So, we're underwriting those at about 80% of purchase price. Using the mill rate in the area and coming up with that tax. And boy, I'll tell you what, some of the numbers are staggering. The other thing right now is insurance.
Right.
You really got to pay attention to how you are looking at your insurance costs, because insurance rates have gone up so much.
Right.
So we're
And
looking
now that you mentioned insurance, you want to make sure also check to make sure the property's not in a flood zone, because that will increase your insurance tremendously.
So here's a quick story. I have a client, and he's been on my podcast over the last couple of years, and runs a company. They're in Tampa, Florida. They run a company that their specific agenda is to get properties removed from the flood map, right?
Wow.
So they take the 100-year flood map, and they actually can get your property removed from it, which will change your insurance costs.
Right.
He has saved companies, he's saved owners and sponsors millions of dollars over the years. So actually, this property we're looking at is on the flood map. However, it hasn't flooded ever, right? So it's a perfect candidate to go to him, but you got to go after the fact, right? So we'll have to own the property, then go to DJ and have them. So if anybody wants that information, reach out to me and I'll get you connected with DJ. But,
that's huge.
Yeah, he's a good guy. So, Kevin, so what am I looking at interest rate wise today? See, I personally wouldn't even underwrite that loan, any less than 75% LTV.
Right.
So if I underwrote that at 75% LTV, and what am I looking at interest rate? And then the second part of that question, am I talking recourse or non-recourse on that?
Right. That's a good question, Mike. So it's interesting because prior to rates rising, you had your capital markets, and then you have your, your banks, right? So back then, the capital markets rates were extremely low, 3.25%, 3.5%. And so that was the go-to, non-recourse. But now things have kind of flipped. Now that interest rates have increased and the treasuries increased, the capital markets rates are higher than your local regional banks. So on the capital markets non-recourse side, depending on the tier level of the property, you're looking at anywhere from 5.4, 5.5 to I've seen some 6.25. Whereas again on the recourse side, on the local bank side, we're still under 5%. So our rates can vary from 4.95 to 5.2 max.
Okay, with recourse.
So
what is the advantage or disadvantage to me of having a recourse, non-recourse loan? If I have an asset that's going to perform, or if I have an asset that fails.
Sure. People, it's interesting because I talk to investors all the time, and everybody talks about, I want non-recourse. But for me, I mean, first of all, you're not going into a deal thinking, okay, I'm going to get foreclosed on. I'm going to lose this property, right? You're not going into a deal with that mindset, hopefully. So the way it's structured on the recourse side is these are business loan agreements. So the business loan agreement is the agreement between the bank and your company, the LLC, right? And so you personally are just guaranteeing a loan. Your name, these loans don't even show up on your credit report. The only recourse part is when you don't pay the mortgage. That's when the bank is going to go after you personally. But other than that, on a recourse loan, a business loan agreement, all the documents have your company's name on it. It's, so I don't know. People get caught up with the recourse and non-recourse. Sure, it's a big deal. I mean, if you're a high net worth guy, you don't want, you want to, personally put yourself out there. But on the non-recourse on the capital markets, they don't, it's totally non-recourse, meaning that you're not on the hook for it personally.
Yeah. When you talk about capital markets, are you talking about like agency debt?
Yeah. Agency, Fannie, Freddie. Yeah.
Aren't the agencies looking for you to be more closer to 55% LTV in a deal today, or?
Depending on the tier level. I mean, they're. I've seen it from 65, on up to 75, a couple 80%. I mean, that has to be a tier one, right? 80% loan to value. No exceptions. So it just really varies. It's very tricky with underwriting these days, and you really have to, have a second set of eyes. And I would definitely consult with the lender, the banker when underwriting.
Well, why don't I do this? Why don't I send over to you when we get off this morning? I'll send you the OM on this deal along with my underwriting.
Sure.
And you can look at it and see what we can do on it. I'm not generally looking for the lowest LTV on the deal, but I am looking for the loan that'll work the best.
That's right.
That's right. And here's what I believe right now is that we're in this for the short term, right? So I can't look at just today, but I got to look 30 months down the road because I only want to hold this deal for about 4 years.
Right.
And because it's just one of those assets that'll make sense over 4 years. So you look at my underwriting, tell me what you think we can do on it, and we'll go from there. So
absolutely. That's it's ironic. It's funny you mentioned that you want to hold it for 4 years. So, like you said, I mean, this environment that we're in terms of the recession and so forth it's a short-term situation. However, you want to be conservative on your exit underwriting, right? On your exit returns for your investors. So that I think that's key.
Right. Yeah, we want our investors to be somewhere, 1.8 to 2.0 on the multiple. So, we want to get them, at least to there. And knowing the environment we're in, last year we did a deal and we were at a 2.6 multiple, right? So that's how much the environment has changed. So
exactly.
So anybody who we've confused this morning, and you have a question, reach out to Kevin, reach out to me. We'll try and straighten those answers out for you. So, hey, Kevin, what's exciting is the summit's coming up next week. You're going to be a speaker. You're going to be a great asset, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Do you know Ryan Cotter?
No, I've seen his name around, but I'm not sure. Who does he work for?
He just changed banks, and I can't remember who he's with now. But you know what? He's going to moderate the panel you're going to be on.
Okay.
He's a great guy. I think it'll be a really good connection for you to meet with him too. So I know 100%. He's working on some questions in that for the panel. So it definitely will be some great insight and some information. But the summit's coming up next week. It is 3 days of virtual event. I always tell people, I say, hey, look, if you can't be there the whole time, it's going to be recorded. You'll get a copy of that recording. The summit is, this year I have 30 speakers. This is, we've done this annually for the last couple of years, and it is grown. And, we're getting a lot of traction around it, and it's a lot of fun. So I tell people, listen, even if you can't be there the whole time, it's going to be recorded. You'll get a link to it, but get there as much as you can, because we have, 20 speakers on the main stage. We have breakout rooms. We'll have panels. we're actually going to play cash flow virtually. And I don't know if you've ever played cash flow, the board game.
Right.
But a friend of mine from San Diego, Michael Zhao, he virtually facilitates the playing of cash flow. And it's a blast. I've been in a room where there's been 30 people, 50 people, and
Wow.
he does a really good job. So if you get a chance to spend some time in a breakout room and play cash flow, it'll give you some insights and some strategies to investing, to life, to building a business, building a portfolio in real estate. So you do some investing yourself, don't you?
Yeah. I actually own a 12 unit on the south side, and I'm actually looking to scale and grow and acquire more assets in the coming new year. So anybody looking to, I'm open to partnering and joint venture and participate in any way I can to help out.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, Devin, good morning. Thanks for chiming in and saying hello. Cheryl, good morning. Good to see you here. If anybody has any questions out there, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat, and we'll see if Kevin can get them answered. Hey, as we start to wind down this morning, because these are quick on Thursday morning because people are on the run. But any final comments or things people should be looking out for right now in the environment or in the coming months?
Yeah. No, really the main thing I tell people, and I mentioned this at the GOB conference, is just, continue to underwrite deals, continue to look for deals, stay in the game, still raise capital, and just be patient because, it's a cycle. And so those that are patient will get the rewards of when we come out of this, or as we come out of this, because prices are going to come down, sellers are going to still be selling, and the market's going to thin out in terms of the players, right? So you want to stay in the game, and that's what I advise.
Yeah, I think that's great advice too, by the way. You talk about continue underwriting. In the last 3 weeks, we've underwritten about 32 deals.
Wow.
And we floated a couple of offers out there. One solid LOI we wrote, and the disparity between where we were and where the seller was at, we couldn't come together on it. And the other one was a verbal offer. And it's just amazing to me. I think some sellers are still in that position where they think that they're going to get the price they want, and they have to come down. But a good thought that might be is, what happens first? Do cap rates go up, or does price come down?
That's
then cap rates go up.
Good question.
So, what happens first, right? It's like the chicken or the egg. So
exactly.
I think brokers have to push their sellers a little bit, and sellers have to say, hey, I'm going to have to come down in the market, because what we could get a year ago, we can't get today. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. The deals don't want to pencil out with the higher interest rates.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Kevin, so as we end this, I always ask 3 bonus questions, being from Chicago. So favorite tourist attraction?
I would say Navy Pier.
Navy Pier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything special out there that you like, or?
No, just great food. A lot of walking, which you want to do after you eat, right? So great food though.
Yeah. Hey, we got somebody who chimed in from Florida. They said they survived the hurricane. Well, we're glad to hear that.
Oh my gosh. Sure. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, best book you've ever read?
You know what? I really like James Clear's book, Atomic Habits.
Okay.
Yep. I listen to that daily, and it just is so helpful in terms of getting you focused on your goals.
Yeah, it's so much about being intentional, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. And then, okay, so I always love this one, but your favorite restaurant here in Chicago?
Oh my goodness! You know what, Mike? It's so many. My wife and I, we go out every weekend. Dinner and a movie. Um, so I don't know. I would say if I had to just pick one, there's some nice restaurants on the north side, but we usually order like Luminati's or something like that, or some of the local restaurants up in Andersonville are really good. Yeah.
Anything specific? That's a great neighborhood, Andersonville.
Oh yeah, it's great neighborhood. It's one place we go to called Sea Landon Lake. Landon Lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fish food, is that what it is?
They have both. They have fish food and they have, oh my gosh, juicy burgers.
Nice. Gonna have to check that out for sure.
Yeah.
Landon Lake. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, thanks for being here this morning. How do people get a hold of you if they want to connect?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm all over LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. And then my cell is 312-525-1131. And you can always text or call me. But definitely if you hit me up on LinkedIn, I will respond.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. I'm going to move you to the back room. I'm going to say goodbye. And if you hang out with me for a minute afterwards.
Absolutely.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kevin. We'll see you at the summit. Hey, everybody, that was Kevin Greer with Bank Financial. If you have any lending needs on the commercial side, don't hesitate to reach out to him. World of information. Hey, I want to remind you again, next week is the summit, the multifamily summit, 3-day virtual event, the biggest virtual event of 2022. I'm going to have over 30 speakers. We're going to cover everything that has to do with multifamily. So if you're a new investor trying to get in the real estate investing space, there's never been a better time in history to invest in multifamily. If you are in the single family space and you understand the economies of scale that multifamily can provide, or if you're a seasoned investor looking for a shot in the arm and wondering how to take your business, there's going to be something there for everybody. 30 speakers, 3 days, 2 breakout rooms, big announcements towards the end of the day on Friday and Saturday, things you're going to want to take advantage of. I'm excited. My co-host, Bryce McKinley, who's going to kick the show off with me, is going to finish the show or finish the 3 days with me. So I'm excited about that. Big event this year, everybody. Get registered. Go to multifamily22.com. And remember, tell somebody about Thursday Morning Live. If you know a local area Chicago business owner, restaurant owner, I'd love to have them on the show, talk about their business and talk about Chicago. Look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great week, everybody. And we will see you next week. Oh, we won't see you next week. I will not be here next Thursday because Thursday we'll be doing the summit. But I'll see you the following week. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.